Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you something that I think is really super cool. I'm going to show you this abstract modern cake design, how to achieve this with some butter ganache and gold for the top, and how to hand paint that abstract look on the bottom tier. I'm also going to show you how to use an airbrush to get this deep, deep olive green color. First of all, I'm going to show you about how I use this new airbrush I was given to try by Kasubaris. This one is not cordless. You've seen me use other cordless ones in the past. This is the third one they have supplied me with, so thank you, Kasubaris. I definitely like their airbrushes. And this one has a rotatable airbrush head, and it also has a dual action airbrush. So you can attach your containers on the bottom or the top, which is really nice. So there will be a link in the video description for a 10% off code on top of a 30% discount. So total 40% off of this product if you use my code in the description below. So now this is how I am doing the olive green. You can see I already had a base coat on there. And I think the trick to this is layering. And I did not have an airbrush color in this color green that I wanted. So what I did was I used its satin ice olive green, and I mixed it with Everclear to get a thin consistency so it won't get clogged up in your airbrush. So you don't always have to use airbrush color. You can use your regular gel colors if you combine it with Everclear and thin it way down. So it's just, like I said, the key to this is layer upon layer upon layer. And you can see there's some spots where I did get some spitting on the cake, and that just happens sometimes. But it's not going to matter because for the most part, it's going to be so deep that it's going to, with the layers, cover those up. And there's also decorations, so strategic placing of your decorations is key. Now, when it comes to airbrushing, I would suggest when you are doing this, see how deep it got? I didn't even show you the in-between stages. I did it like 4 times. I did a layer on each, in a row. Put it in the refrigerator to dry, and then come back and do another layer. And before, I'm using Everclear to paint that line. You'll see me doing this here. And the Everclear is going to remove the color from the fondant. This is a fondant covered cake. That is another reason why I did the airbrush, because you can remove the airbrush color very easily. And this doesn't have to be exact. I'm just I didn't care if the line was completely straight, basically. And now I'm just going in and just dabbing some more Everclear with a sponge, like the corner of the sponge. And then I will go back with a fan brush and add some lines into that lower section right here. And what that does, it's giving you layers of color that you already applied with the airbrush. And I was going to say too, with the airbrush, what I like to do is use circular motions a little further away from the cake. Set your airbrush on the setting where it's not coming out in a line, where it's dispersed more. Also with that airbrush, I should tell you, it does not come with a compressor. You will need to have your own airbrush compressor. Very important to know. But definitely a purchase, an expense that's worth it if you work with cakes and airbrushing. Now I'm just going back in with, what color was this? It's just turquoise. And it's thinned down with some Everclear again. And I'm just dabbing it on and removing a little bit with the sponge again. The key, I wanted it to not be just a stripe of color, so that some of that white will come through a little bit too. And now I'm just using my balling tool, my smallest one, to add a little texture into the fondant. And this fondant has set up, but it's still accepted. It was soft enough to still take that impression. And then I'm using some edible gold leaf right on top. And I'm just attaching it I just brushed a little bit of water. And it will stick right to it. My cake is to the point now where it's not having any condensation anymore. So if you have some condensation, that it could be a blessing and a curse because you don't have to worry about brushing on any water to get the edible gold leaf to stick, but at the same time, it's going to stick everywhere. So I prefer to have it not be wet with condensation at all before I do this, because then you know exactly where that gold is going. And if you accidentally get it somewhere you don't want it, you can just brush it right off. And now I'm doing that gold horizontal abstract chocolate. What do we want to call that? There's so many things we could call that. A linear chocolate transfer. That's what we're going to call it. I just made that up. So this time I have done this with more vertical before. And I just dry brushed the gold luster dust onto my acetate sheet. But this time I'm going in and I'm using some, a little bit thicker of the gold paint. You know, what I used before on, I guess I didn't on this one. What I have used before for painting gold, this time it's a little thicker and I'm just brushing it onto my acetate. And then I went in with some dry over the top just to make it a solid gold. And this is the butter ganache. I've been using this a lot lately. I definitely am transferred over from regular ganache to butter ganache. Yes, it's more expensive to make, but it's so worth it. And you want this to be about 80 degrees when you pipe this. You want it to be basically room temperature. And then I just cut a small tip in the bag, and I'm just doing horizontal wavy lines, making sure that they touch here and there. That's what's going to help give it some stabilization on the cake if you have your chocolate touching. It would be really hard to do just straight stripes and have it stick real good onto the cake. I mean, it might if you did thicker lines, but I wanted thinner ones. And I didn't want to take any chances. So I'm just making sure that those lines are connected and touching here and there. And then I set it to the side for just a few minutes to the point where you can touch it and it's not leaving a mark on your finger, but it's still kind of soft before you lift it up and transfer it onto the cake. Now you can do this on buttercream too. Doesn't have to be fondant. In fact, it probably works a little bit better on buttercream than fondant, but either one is fine. And then gently wrap it around. Now my acetate sheet, it's exactly the same height, and that's fine. I didn't want it sticking up on this one, but the circumference around there, I added about an inch or two onto the end so that I have a place to place my fingers. Then I set that in the refrigerator to set up all the way, which does not take too long. But in the meantime, I am using some non-edible decorations. That fabric I found it on Amazon, and it's actually called pleated chiffon trim. I will leave a link for that one too. And those feathers I found at Joann Fabric. And that's where the color inspiration really came from. Those feathers have that deep green and that turquoise blue. It kind of reminds me of peacock a little bit. And I really like that. And it had some black in there too. So that's how it all kind of ties together. I know this whole color scheme is a little bit different, but I really kind of like it. And the tying together factor is those feathers for me. Now I wish I could have taken this fabric and sewed it at home. You can just pleat it and sew it real quick, but my sewing machine's not working. So I just had to make some hooks out of floral wire, and I poked it through the fabric, pleated it, and poked those through the fabric into the cake. Now, when you're using non-edible decorations on a cake, just make sure that you are telling the clients so that they know what to remove. I am used to be absolutely opposed to anything non-edible on a cake. But over the years, I realized that there's a lot you can do edible, but some things just you cannot replicate in edible. But I'm a big believer in communication and being honest and just telling your customer, your client, that some things cannot be done edible and that these items are not edible and that they need to be removed before serving the cake. And most of the time, people are very understanding. So here's our final product. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you can embrace the bold color choices on this one. I hope there are some things that you can use. And I'll catch you on the next one.